Hey guys, this is Intuitive Anthony doing another YouTube video. This story I came across on MSN, so I know everybody and their mama gonna have this shit up on their channel. But I'm not one to let somebody else do my work, so here we are. This was seen on MSN today. Now, before I start talking about the subject, I want to give you a little preface of to what I'm actually referring to. The time of the Gentiles, as you will eventually know about my new Hebrew identity, are due for some great judgments in the coming years. And I've really been researching the scriptures and sifting my way through the true Hebrews and these other people who are trying to make this an all-inclusive kumbaya sort of thing, and trying to weed out the truth from the garbage, as you would have to do in your life in any capacity. You know what I'm saying? So this story came across to me, and this just gives me more indication of where we are in the history of time and where we stand as far as it being relating to the end of days, or how close we are to that final door. Apparently there was a mass overdose in California. When I heard about this being a massive overdose, I'm going to give you my first thoughts. My first thoughts was that it's a mass setting, and I'm sorry, this is not of the African American or black or Hebrew or minority. This is not one of those types of situations. This is not one of those types of stories. And I could also tell by the the way that they left any real salacious or scandalous stuff out of the title on MSN. Because if it's a black person or a black situation, they tend to give you the mother's eye color, the hair color, the generation of the family, where they worked when they were 10, where they went to school at, who they kicked in third grade, all of that type of stuff. But when it's something that has to deal with white people and something that is done wrong, they tend to say, they give you very broad terms and they kind of push it over. So they're giving you the news without giving you the news. But if it's a black situation, they'll even show you the dead body. They'll show you every part of the story, everything, so that there's no mistaking who they're talking about. But when it's white people, they brush past it really, really quickly and move on. So this being a massive overdose, I knew that these were white people. Not to say that they deserve it, because nobody deserves that. You know what I mean? It's a mental illness. I understand it. I know it. You know what I mean? I know about that. So I'm not wishing, I'm saying it's okay, and that I'm not minimizing what the families are going through. That's not my game. Because we are all trying to make it home to heaven or to wherever you find your peace after this life. With that being said, I'm going to give you some information about this article. A mass overdose in a California home. I mean, people in small, poor communities, poverty-driven areas, do have people over, but it's not a that kind of environment. I mean, there may be a party or something where people are drinking and stuff. They may be smoking weed, but we all know that weed has never caused somebody to overdose, has never had adverse reactions besides laughing, chilling, and eating. With that being said, let's move on. A mass overdose in a California home where the rent is very expensive and ain't no minorities really going to be paying like that, especially unless they have Section 8 or some kind of assistance. And we all know Donald Trump's trying to screw that up for everybody. Not just the black people, because there's a lot of poor, impoverished white people in the middle of the country that's going to get hit way worse than us, because we know how to make a lot out of a little. We've had to do it for over 400 years. So the ones who have never had that experience are going to have way more of a hard time. Anyway, Saturday morning left one person dead and 12 other people hospitalized. The police say that the victims may have ingested fentanyl, a powerful opiate. Opiate is the curse of the Gentiles. Because back in the day, whether you know it or not, they did not prescribe those kind of medications to black people because of what they was told in the media, that black people are drug dealers and gangbangers, and what they're going to do is they're going to sell it or get high and not go to work and mooch off the system or whatever the hell that is. But this addiction, this opioid addiction, is not in the minority communities because we were never prescribed that shit to start with, which is a blessing in disguise. See, what they do to hold down another race will always turn around and bite you. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That goes without saying. The good book says it. What you live by is what you will die by. So fentanyl and all of these opioids and stuff have never been in the minority communities. But this is what was the party supply of this house where all these people had massive overdoses. And this is the same shit that killed Prince. This is the same stuff that killed Prince. And if you look on my channel, Chico Police Chief Michael O'Brien said at a press conference that the police received a 911 call from somebody inside the residence of the home on the 1100 block of the Santana Court around 9 a.m. So they must have been doing this all night. Because I don't know a bunch of people that get together and want to start a party at 8 or 7 in the morning. No. Usually you wait for the sun to go down for the wine and the spirits and all of that free sort of living to take place. Upon arrival, Chico police officers found multiple individuals in what appeared to be life-threatening overdose conditions. That's really, really sad. And it's very, very, I believe it's to be very, very scary. I'm speaking. So, O'Brien said that the officers performed CPR and administered 6 doses of naloxone, which can reverse the effects of an overdose that comes in half doses. Chico's police have been equipped with this naloxone since 2018. So they've been equipped with this because obviously what we as people know, it's only become very relative, like in the last 6 months, that all the people, the regular blue collar people, are starting to realize that this opioid problem is a huge problem that is not being covered on the news as much. And the reason why is because it pertains to white people in the country. And as I said earlier in this video, they never want to show their own kind in a bad light. When it comes to a minority, they'll give you all of the information and blood type, but they will not tell you all that information with the white person. So they've been prepared for this shit since 2018 with naloxone, the stuff that counteracts an overdose. So they already saw the signs on the wall and went ahead and stopped it before it actually got as bad as it's getting now. 1 male adult died and 12 other people were taken into an area hospital for treatment. O'Brien says that the ages of the victims range between 19 and at least 30. And it's from my understanding, but I don't know because I don't partake in shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's wine and weed for me. Like, I'm sorry. And it's not an everyday, all day sort of thing because I got responsibilities. You know what I mean? This is a very crucial time in history and I need to be sober and vigilant just in case other stuff comes about. I know how to deal with it. Anyway, 19 to 30 years old means that these kids had to get this from somewhere. Or it has to be running freely like salmon up a stream in order for them to get their hands on it and have access to it. 8 of the victims were admitted, and those eight, 4 were listed as being in critical condition. He said that while it was still too early in the investigation to be sure, the likely cause of death and injuries is from consumption from the potent drug. Now, we all know this to be potent. And rich people and Caucasian people, because Prince was rich, so if you got the money, you can get what you want. And if a black man got too much money, the government wants to find out why you got so much money. They want to regulate and make sure that you're not living too well. But Prince was in one of those categories where he had already made his deal with who he wanted to make his deal with. So the devil will give you what you want, even though he knows it's going to kill you, because it's not about the after. Because once you're gone, you belong to him. And that's all he ever wants. So fentanyl killed Prince. But this is not something that minorities are used to at all. So I don't know how they do it. I don't know if it's, from what I've seen in the videos from a patch, who knows how the hell they're doing it. And black people ain't trying to shoot nothing up in their veins or whatever they're doing. No, that's not even, no. Every indication is that this mass overdose incident was caused by the ingestion of some form of fentanyl combined with other substances, although that has yet to be confirmed. So they ingested it, which could mean taking it in the mouth, taking it in the vein, and they said it was with other stuff. So Prince got a tainted batch of fentanyl, and apparently a guy who was working for his doctor, who wasn't even a medical professional, brought that shit to him, and he died. But nobody was charged in that. So now that all of these kids in California, probably in the suburbs, have come down with the same shit. How far are they going to chase this rabbit down the hole to find out where it came from? And I guarantee you they're probably not going to do that much, because the same people who are using it is the same ones that sold it to them. So there you go. 2 responding officers were also treated in the hospital after complaining of feeling some effects. They treated them and felt some effects. So was this... I get the feeling that the officers came into the situation and got saturated with fentanyl somehow. So who knows how they were ingesting it, you know what I mean? And that's a lot of people to be comatose at the same freaking time. Anyway. But they were released and said to be in good condition. Further on in the details, how they might have been affected were not immediately available. So that's kind of a mystery there. How did they get that shit in their system when they were not partakers of it? So how did they distribute that fentanyl to everybody at that get-together? The police are not clear about how or why the victims might have consumed the substance. The home is currently being treated as a hazmat site. You mean to tell me that a house in the suburbs has gotten access to a drug, and instead of them ingesting it, they have so much and so plenty of it that they were able to administer this drug to all the people in attendance in several different creative ways? Like, hey, this is a free-for-all party. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. You can do whatever you want type of thing. So much so that they found new and creative ways of ingesting this shit, and the police officers got sick when they went there. That lets you know exactly what level of abuse this is on. This ain't no, oh, he went down the street and got this bag and it was bad. No, this is some really controlled, and these people knew what they were getting into. They're considering the house a hazmat site, which is on some next level type shit. But O'Brien says it's not a danger to the public. So whatever it is, they were able to centralize the area of this contamination that's going on. A relationship between the victims has not been established, though police say that they all knew each other to some extent. Yeah, damn right they knew each other to some extent. This was probably an inside thing that these group of kids and this clique knew about, and they heard about it from somebody else. And they probably, who knows, they could have had the same source or their own source. And whatever the situation is, I feel bad for the families. I really do. But we can't say that we didn't see the writing on the wall. The writing has been on the wall for some time. And as time goes on, it will get further and further and further. But I want to know what you guys think about this and all the information that I displayed in this story. This is absolutely insanity, and it's very, very scary. I want to know what you guys think. Remember to hit like and subscribe, guys. Hit that thumbs up, and I will talk to you again later. Bye.